Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through today of a junk journal that I recently completed, and I thought you might like to take a look through it with me. This is what I call one of my shabby chic junk journals, and I usually will have fun with pretty laces and ribbons and things when I have an especially old book that has been especially loved. Being able to play with laces and sew on the cover, I find strengthens the old cover and it gives it character. And it's particularly nice on a pretty book like this one, which is called The New Chronicles of Rebecca. It's a pretty book. You can see it's got the spine on it. It's got really pretty illustrations and colors. You can tell it's faded. It's been on a shelf in the sun somewhere because this sort of golden yellow color used to be this green color. But that's okay because it gives it character. And that's what you expect with a book that's from 1907. This is an old book. You know what? I don't know what the math is for that. I'm old. I had to find my calculator. It's 114 years old, the original book. And it really wasn't in really bad shape, but it was already kind of shabby looking, and why not take that shabby and make it chic, right? Now I have really gone overboard. This ribbon around it not only looks pretty, but it's functional because I usually with my journals tend to ease up on what I put into a journal and leave it for the next person. But you're going to find that this one is actually quite full of fun that I had. It was just a pleasure. It has a little bit of a garden theme, a little bit of a, 1900s theme. It's just a pretty book. Let's take a look at the measurements. So it's about 5¼ inches by about 7¾ inches. And then I seem to recall the spine is about 1¼ Yes. So it's got 5 signatures sewn into a hidden hollow back spine. And there are 188 pages of varying sizes. And I've put some lace at the top and some lace down here at the bottom. And I've left, of the sewing that I did, I've left the threads long, but they're all knotted. So if you're not a thread person, you can trim those threads just nice and close to the knot, and they'll be just fine. As ever with my journals, just about everything in here has come from a secondhand source. So that could be a thrift store, an estate sale, a charity shop, a church rummage sale, a yard sale. It can also be happy mail from wonderful friends who I've made online, have sent me fun things to put into junk journals. Thank you to them. So I would dare say this book is 99% repurposed materials, and of the 1% is probably just washi tape, glue, and a bit of thread to sew it together. When we get through it, we'll see. Off the top of my head, I think just this bulldog clip here is brand new, purchased brand new. Everything else I found at thrift stores, like I said, or else I found it's come to me in other ways. So the lace on the front cover is a variety of laces that I've put together. Some of this is off an old wedding gown up here, and this is antique lace here. Same with on this side, and it's just a little bit of ribbon here that I thought matched these pretty little scenes here. I loved this little field with trees and a stream, and then this happy home up here with hollyhocks and the little house. And then I sewed the lace on so that if you want to, you can lift up the lace and still see the title of the book. And you'll see that the stitching has gone right through the cover, all the way around, all around the back. it's just a fun little detail. And of course, yes, you're going to see little scuffs and marks and dings and bruises. This baby is 114 years old, so I still think she's looking pretty good for her age. So when we go inside, you're going to see just a really pretty book. I've made a pocket here from a tea-dyed lace doily, and I've put in it a little, I made this to look like a cabinet card. That's piano music from a player piano on the back so that you can journal on it if you want. Her picture was in a book I have on the history of photography, and I just loved her little smile. So she's in here, and I've put tissue overlay over the original page, but because it's Chronicles of Rebecca, I just thought, I wonder if that's what Rebecca looked like. So I put that on the front page of this overlay. I have put many of the original text block pages back in, and I've used many of them to make journaling tags. So you'll see as we go. This is the original first page, and on the back side of it, you'll see where it says that it was published in 1907. So that's nice to have. And the laces along the edge have been sewn on. Here's where you can see that on some of the pages where the fold needed a bit of strengthening, I've used washi tape. Wherever possible, I'll show you when I get to the second sides. If I know the age of the book that I pulled certain pages out of, I've written it in pencil, in tiny little pencil. Here's a little flip out. This is in German. This is a German book of recorder music. A little tag here that got sewn right in. And I'm not sure what language that is, but it's a stamp. And that is a fortune cookie from one time when my sweetie and I had Chinese food. This is from, I'm not sure what year. When we get to it, I'll tell you this page of this book. I believe it's 1941. Here's a little tuck pocket. The scrapbook paper matches the end papers. So you'll see this repeated. There's a little over here as well. And here's what I mean when I said that I've made journaling tags out of some of the pages from the books. And this young lady was cut out of a book from 1889, so that's pretty old. I thought she looked lovely there on the contents page. Here in this spread, this is from a Beatrix Potter book. This is also from that book from 1889. And you'll see down at the bottom, that's the actual date, July 6th, 1889. And that's a real page. It's not a scanned print. 1889. So here's what you'll see on the back side of, if I know the age of a paper, I'll write it in pencil. That way you can erase it. If you don't want to see that in your journal, just take a soft eraser like this and just very gently erase it. But sometimes it's fun to know. Here again, you'll see I've used a pencil. That book was from 1941 that I pulled that out of. Another little detail with some more of that scrapbook paper. I didn't waste any of it. It's one whole page is in this book. If paper has been tea-dyed, I did it myself. Here's the other side of that German music paper. I've made a little tuck spot here, and you'll see that it says words on it. And what I've tucked in it is a little vellum envelope that I got in Happy Mail, and I put in it some word snippets. So in case you want to journal and use some word snippets, it'll be in your words stash. A little bit of stenciling here and there. This is an original page out of the text block, and this as well. It's a tuck spot that I made from a calendar that was in a 1949 Woman's Journal magazine from England. I made another tag out of one of the pages of the original text block, and you can journal on the back. And then inside it is an actual vintage card. It's for a wedding gift, but I just thought it was so pretty. And there's, like I said, there's sort of a slight garden theme in this book, and I just thought all those flowers remind me of a garden. So I tucked that in there. Ledger paper. I love when they've got the number up there. Some ribbon that I've sewn on. This is some bank reconciliation paper. So it had holes along the side, so I ran thread through it. I made a little collage here with a stamp that I just got this week in Happy Mail. And some little flowers, and there's a bee heading on down saying, oh boy, there's breakfast. On the other side, because the stamp sticks out, I just put a little girl there. She's wandering through the garden, I guess. A little bit of Edith Holden here. Here are two of the original illustrations out of the book. I left them free because I thought they might make good journaling spots. So I simply put them in with a paper clip so that you can do what you want with it. Just a little bit of lace on the end of that paper clip. And there's just a little satin rose tucked into that lace there on this page. Just a lot of lace in this book. I did a little bit of lace overload. This spread here is from the book Little Women. And I don't know the year of this publication. I forgot to write it down. I already used the cover and made a journal out of it about 2 years ago, but I still had the text block. So that's kind of fun. You can see here, this is when they wrote letters to their mother. So Topsy Turvy Joe and Little Beth. I thought that was kind of sweet to have a little more stenciling. A tuck spot made from a 1958 magazine, and you can see the date there. And then this is actually from the spine of a little golden book. And some old lace. And then inside I tucked, this was from a box of recipe cards I found, so that's the pickles one. I just thought it was fun for journaling on. This is a card from a game from a company, the Cow and Gate Dairy Company, and this is actually from 1928. They printed this game as a promotion of their baby formula that they had just come up with. And so in 1928, you could get this game from the Cow and Gate Company. I found it at one of my thrift stores one day. Isn't that amazing? And it was fully intact. A little tag up here, and I just put a little bulb pin and a key. Let me lift it up so you can see. Again, that was from Happy Mail. From Kelly. More pages from the original book. This as well. There's a little stenciling here. And then this one was about Rebecca, so I thought, well, let's put a young lady there. A little bit of ribbon sewn on there. I love when there's different sizes on pages in a journal. It makes it so much fun to flip through and write in your book and add things into your book. More tea-dyed paper. I do my own tea dyeing. This is a book from a garden diary. So what more perfect book to put into a garden-y kind of journal. This is an idea I just learned this week from a friend who sent me a junk journal, and it flips up, and then you can journal on that side, and then it stays private underneath. And then I just put a little bit of a Victorian ephemera stamp there, and on this side you still have those staggered odd-shaped papers. This is actually from out of one of my old bullet journals. I tea-dyed it, and the leftovers go into journals. Here's some pockets that I put in with a little, this ad for roses came out of the same magazine as that one that says October 1958. And then it's a little tuck spot, so there's some tea-dyed paper in that pocket. There's some more of that scrapbook paper, and then of course it's not a Sunnyside journal unless it has a Tunanas bookmark in it. I had a little fun with this one. The chapter was called A Tragedy in Millinery, and so I fussy cut this out of the 1889 book, and then I backed it with some tea-dyed paper so that it could be journaled on. And millinery is hat making. So I thought these two ladies in their lovely hats, they don't look tragic at all to me, but you never know. Tragedy could have ensued. This is from an old Ideals book. I'm not sure the year of it anymore, but you can tell just from the coloring of the photo that it's old. We'll know the year when we get to the other side of this one. This was from a book on gardening, the Manual of Gardening. I believe it was the 1940s. A tea-dyed doily. Here I've made another tag from a page out of the original text block, and I put a little wren there and a stamp, and then it can be journaled on the back, and a little stamp of a glove, a lady's glove. The tuck spot here. Oh, did I put you in too soon? Hold on. Okay, now it's not giving me grief. I tucked it in while that little drop of glue was still a little damp, so I just wanted to make sure it was okay before I started trying to tug at it right on camera. And that's just a little bit of tea-dyed paper slipped into there with a little posy there. This page that was out of the magazine, in order to make it fit, I cut one end off and sewed it to the other side. So that's why you see it's actually all from the same page, but I had to make it fit somehow. This is also from that 1958. You can see down there, it has the date there. Little handbasket magazine, and I made it into a tuck spot. This is an original illustration from the book. And then this is a vintage postcard from Green Gables, because I thought it was kind of like an Anne of Green Gables-y kind of book. And I think this is 1971. I remember seeing somewhere. 78, pardon me, 1978. Oh, I know why 71 was stuck in my head. I actually went there and visited there in 1971 when I was 11 years old. It's a beautiful place. Prince Edward, the whole island is beautiful. This little envelope here is tea-dyed. That is actually the original owner's signature. It was on the inside of the book originally, and I didn't want to lose it. So Annetta Brown's name is still in the book. I just put it on this little envelope. Some people are a little bit, I don't know, a little squeamish about signs from the original owner. I love it, and I think Annetta would be very happy with how nice her book looks now, and that it will get used over and over again now and loved. So I put it on an envelope. That way you can use it if you like, or not use it if you don't like. From a Chronicle book I have. More little Victorian ephemera stickers here and there in this book. I had fun with them. Another tag that I made from a page in the book. This is also from the 1889 book that I fussy cut out. And then there's room on the back to journal. And it just fits behind that belly band there. That is also from the book from 1958. This book, I put it over here, is from 1950. This drawing book. It's a really pretty book. Another little tuck spot here, using up the rest of the scrapbook paper. A little teacup and saucer, so after you finish playing, you can go in and have a cup of tea and a biscuit. And then this is some gardens from Vancouver, British Columbia. I've been there too. It's beautiful there. And you can journal on the back. The coloring and the styling of it and the clothing that those people have, there's some people walking along there, leads me to think this is also the 70s. And it was in with the same bundle. So I suspect it's from the 70s. And then in the back again, you'll see that I repeated the stitching on the inside of the end papers that I put on the outside. But I had to do it in 2 processes, in case you're wondering, how did she do that? And then this is a digital stamp that I put in. And if that's not your thing, you can put a pocket over it. You can put collaging over it. So there you go. There's the new Chronicles of Rebecca. And it really is new all over again now that I've finished with what I did with it. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through. There you can see the hidden hollow back spine here that I created. Just means that it'll lie down nicely when you want to write or work in it. Thanks for joining me today. This book will be available in my Etsy shop. The link will be posted down below, and if you're interested in it, you could go over and take a look. And I will be sending along a little bundle of some extra pages out of the book when it goes to its new home. So in case you want to make some more tags or have some fun with it, it'll all go together. Take care. Thanks for visiting. Bye.